And we'll get into some topics this morning. As I mentioned, just soon after pulling out onto the road and getting out in the driveway, today is October 19th. It's 80 degrees at around 10:30 a.m. and the humidity is up around 80%. Very warm day for October, that's for certain. We had a couple nice days in a row of warm weather, but it's supposed to fall back into typical autumn-like temperatures the next day or two. And we may even luckily get some damn rain here in southern New England on Thursday and Friday. We're in a very bad drought here lately, and at a minimum it's been miserable for my allergies this time of year. I didn't realize how badly I get affected by whatever pollens or grasses or whatever the hell is floating around in the air this time of year. But this particular autumn has been very unusual because it's been so damn dry all summer. I'm thinking that's contributing to some of my problems with allergies this autumn. Anyway, enough about the weather, enough about my health issues. As I said, I haven't been putting up a video in about a month or so. The reason for that is I've been trying to do workout rides rather than just going out for my morning rides and just riding along as I normally have been doing. I'll wait till I get to the bottom of this hill. Okay, so what is a workout ride? Well, for me, a workout ride is essentially focusing in on maintaining a certain pace and try to maintain a certain wattage output over a given length of time with the specific goals of making myself a faster rider, but more importantly, a stronger rider. So why am I doing workouts? Why am I interested in getting stronger and faster? Well, of course, workouts are the way you get to being stronger and faster. And the reason I'm interested in getting stronger and faster, to be perfectly honest with you, I've been very much impressed by and influenced by a few people that I follow on Strava who, for the longest time, have absolutely amazed me with their riding performance in terms of pace and distances. As an example, there is one person who I've been following for quite a while, lives up in Massachusetts, which is north of me, probably 2 hours away. I guess I would consider her in the Boston area. South Boston. She's south of Boston, but her riding activities reflect some very impressive statistics in terms of pace and distance. I'll say first off, she is someone who has already ridden 200 days this year. So that's a lot of riding. And secondly, I guess her average speed over a 26-mile course, which she generally does like every day or every other day at a minimum. she's just under 20 miles an hour average, 19 plus at a minimum. So I mean, I started looking at that and I thought, Jesus, how the hell can you do that? I've been riding 15 miles an hour for the longest time, and when I finally invested in some clipless pedals, right turn here, I was finally able to kind of push it up a little bit to 16 miles an hour. But it seems like I kind of hit a plateau, and regardless of how much riding I was doing, in other words, how often I would ride and how far I would ride, I didn't seem to be able to bump up my personal statistics very much at all. So as it turns out, just riding is not going to get you there. You have to really work at riding, and to be specific, if you really want to get faster and stronger, you really need to get yourself into a training regimen. Now obviously, I'm not going to go out and hire a trainer. I'm just a road biker who is probably at the enthusiast level. I ride more than just weekends, so I don't just consider myself a recreational guy anymore. So how do you get into a training program that is effective and actually produces results, at least the kind of results that you're hoping to gain? So the person I'm talking about from South Boston, her name's Allison, and I asked her a couple of questions on it. I said, well, point blank, I mean, how do you get so quick? How do you manage to be so fast? And of course she said training is the key. And she turned me on to what she was doing, or is doing, and she uses a software program called Trainer Road. Now Trainer Road is probably one of the very better ones to use, and I'll get into the reasons why in a minute. But when I asked Allison about what she uses, a couple people chimed in on comments suggesting that I really want to take a look at Zwift, Z-W-I-F-T. And I was kind of aware of it, the Zwift software. And essentially it's kind of an interactive game where you are able to ride along with other riders or yourself, and through a 3D world, and ride along with, compete with other people in a virtual world. And that's intriguing. It sounds like fun, but it's not something that I'm particularly interested in doing myself at this point. I'm not really interested in competing with other people in the virtual world. If I enter that virtual world with a very low or modest FTP score. For those of you who aren't familiar with FTP, it's a number that's assigned to your functional threshold power. Essentially, it's a number that's assigned to what is the maximum amount of power that you can output over, I believe, an hour. Anyway, I didn't feel like the level I'm at is something I want to take into a virtual world with some very strong and competitive riders at this point. So going back to Trainer Road, what Trainer Road is a regimented training program, and there are a number of different training scenarios that you can opt for that give you essentially an exercise program, I guess is the best way of putting it. So when I looked into Trainer Road, one of the things that I liked about it most is that, first of all, you can run it right off your iPhone. You don't need to go to a laptop or a computer. You don't need to run some sort of special gaming software. You don't need to have a widescreen TV set up in your garage or your basement with your bike in front of it and riding your bike as though you're running through the virtual world. I see him. I notice him, yeah. I know what you mean. You got to be careful.